Hi, I'm still a Sonic fan. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you've also watched a video of me covering my thoughts on the split between classic and modern Sonic, as this is going to be something of a follow-up to that video. If you have not seen that video, I highly suggest you do, as that one is far more high effort than this one is going to be, that's for sure. All things considered, I'm still just a self-taught novice to this whole content creating thing, but I put everything and all I have learned so far into that video, and hold it as my most quality work so far as a result. So, I suggest you watch that video first for contextual reasons, for this video beforehand. The why the classic / modern Sonic split is dumb and I hate it video is the first video of mine to blow up on the scale that it has, and I see that it's gotten a lot of people talking, which was the goal of the video, so it does make me glad to see that. I tried replying to as many comments as I could before it started burning me out and all that stuff. It came too many to reply to thoroughly, so that's where this video comes in. This video will act as a double dip in the pool here, a chance to more thoroughly discuss my stance on the topic essentially, now that I have more people's viewpoints to go off of. I will not be responding to individual comments here because, Lord knows there's a lot of them. So instead I'm going to be responding to common points that I was seeing being brought up in the comment section of the last video. I'm going to be talking on the ones that I have something to say about. So with that out of the way, yeah, let's get started. Let's start with the first set of comments I've been seeing a number of. Ones where people point out the whole alternate dimension thing and how it's no longer canon. There are people saying the line where Tails addresses classic Sonic as being from another dimension was a mistranslation between the Japanese and English script, to which, fine, sure, we can say that, but it was a mistranslation that still made it into the final product, and as a result confused many, causing some to treat classic and modern Sonic more separately than they already were. Just because it was a mistranslation in the game does not mean that it did not have real-world effects amongst the fanbase, and therefore cannot be ignored as if it simply did not happen, you know? Aside from that, there are people also saying that Frontiers fixed the alternate dimension split and retconned it, which still proves my point of it being a thing that still happened. Whether it was retconned or not, there was a moment in time where it held true and was accurate to the lore of Sonic. It was still a thing that happened, and I'm sure it was only retconned because of how poorly it was received, as with many aspects of Sonic Forces. This next set of comments is going to be a doozy to discuss. So, some have been saying how there was no coexistence between classic and modern Sonic prior to Generations. Modern Sonic was the primary style for the brand, and for a good long while, and this is something I do not argue with. However, that isn't what I was trying to say with the beginning portion of the video at all. While they were not equally being used as such, classic and modern Sonic were just stylistic choices. They were not representative of different eras of Sonic at the time. Maybe in the fanbase, sure, but not officially. Generations changed that, and cemented the divide between classic and modern Sonic by placing them into eras. This is what I refer to when I say the split between classic and modern Sonic. This next point that people have been bringing up is something that I have a lot to say on, so bear with me here. A particular comment stood out to me, essentially asking why the split is a bad thing when it allows for different branches of the franchise to appeal to different people. The problem lies there in the question, my friend. Like I said in the original video, I think it is a potential net positive for both a casual and corporate viewpoint to do this, because it does allow for different branches of the franchise to appeal to different people. On paper, everyone wins here. My issue is how it's being executed. There are more fans of the franchise than just classic and modern Sonic fans. There is a gray area between the two where Sonic R is, where the Advanced Trilogy is, where the Rush duology is, and where the Rivals duology is. You can tell this is unscripted. Whether you like it or not, I'm trying to say that there are fans of nearly every experimental adventure that Sonic has embarked on. I'm pretty sure there is, at least. And there are good ideas that have come from each of them, that if fleshed out could really make for a quality one-of-a-kind experience. It's not as black and white as either classic or modern Sonic. There is an area between the two that is now largely going ignored, and that is my issue with how the divide is being handled. I'm more than down for different branches of the franchise appealing to different people, which is exactly why I want more of that. It doesn't have to be as cut and dry as either classic or modern, and I prefer for it not to be. That's where I'm coming from. Moving on to a comment that I heavily agree with is one stating that they take issue with classic Sonic remaining mute. They make a point in saying that while Mario was technically mute just as Sonic was back in the day, it was never implied he was silent under a rule. He was simply silent due to hardware limitations, just as many like myself presumed, I'm sure. But they went on ahead and made that limitation a trait for classic Sonic. Why? The Mario series didn't do that, and that provided a sense of evolution in the series, despite it at times remaining faithful to its 2D origins. With the classic Sonic cast remaining stiff in their movements and staying silent, it inhibits their character and makes them appear, as the comment puts it, more like mascots than characters. I could not agree with this more. Compare Sonic Superstars to Mario Bros. Wonder. Just because Mario Wonder is a 2D platformer, it still experiments regardless of that. It tries and does new things, not just in terms of content and concepts, but in the characters and how they are portrayed. Superstars looks and feels so barren in comparison, so basic and, dare I say it, classic. Mario Bros. Wonder was not afraid to implement ideas and traits derivative of the 3D titles, whereas the split between classic and modern Sonic prohibits them from doing the same. Oh, it's a classic Sonic game, so we can't share any characteristics with the modern games. Quality of life and all be damned. It wouldn't be a classic game at that point if we were to do that. It's ridiculous, man, and while some of you out there might be perfectly fine with that, I am not, honestly. With the types of comments that I've already touched on so far, I feel like I've already kind of gotten the majority of the rest of my earnest thoughts out on this discussion. However, there is one more comment type that I'd like to cover here though. Some comments point out the part where I ask why is it that modern characters can't appear in classic style games and vice versa, saying that they aesthetically and fundamentally cannot work out. I'm going to keep my response on this brief, so pay attention please. The Sonic cast can appear in whatever style Sega and Sonic Team damn well please. Modern characters don't work in a bubbly, brightly colored setting of classic games, you say? Look at Sonic Heroes, Sonic Dream Team, and I'm gonna say it, all of Sonic 4. And the classic cast can easily be reimagined and redesigned to best fit the rest of the modern cast, just like the Chaotics have been in before, like I said in the last video. It's not that hard. There is zero need to act like they simply cannot be done, as it already has been done. They could make it work if they wanted. They're the ones prohibiting themselves from doing so. And, yeah, with that pretty much sums up the rest of my thoughts on this topic. This was the first unscripted video I've recorded, pretty much, so, please cut me some slack, about my trip-ups and about my slipping of the tongues and whatnot. I'm sorry that I couldn't make this video as entertaining or as, well, I don't know, quippy and whatnot as the last one, but that kind of happens when I kind of just sit down in front of a mic and spill my thoughts out. Making the jokes and whatnot takes thought and writing and all that, which is something that I didn't do much of with this video. This was just kind of a general response video to more thoroughly flesh out my thoughts. But if you've made it this far, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing me out, and let's continue discussing the matter together. I look forward to seeing you guys down in the comments, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys in the next video as well. That I promise will be more put together than this one was. Thank you. Yeah. Miguel signing off.